got to get through work somehow.
It's true. I'm usually cocaine on my end, but, whatever floats your boat, Joe.
Yeah, it's too much for me. I can't do that.
It's too much. Cocaine's too much for me. Said no one ever.
So what are you doing tomorrow that you have to be up so early for?
I have a 14-hour drive ahead of me.
You going anywhere fun?
Colorado.
Colorado.
Yeah, we're going to go visit Paige's daddy.
Okay. Sounds like fun. You guys going to be gone through the whole weekend?
We don't come back till the following Saturday.
Oh, a whole week.
Yup. So what I was going to ask you is, what are you doing Saturday?
What am I doing Saturday? Nothing. I'm not doing anything this Saturday.
All right, so I was thinking we could record this Saturday for the following Friday because I don't know how the rest of the week's going to go. Does that make sense? So we'll record
today. Won't you be gone?
What's up? What'd you say?
What?
What'd you say? I heard you say something.
So we're gonna record from Colorado?
Yeah. So on Saturday, Paige has plans with her best friend while we're in Denver area. So they're gonna go out and do their thing, and I'm gonna be by myself. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
And then we'll just record, and then I can upload it for the next Friday, since I don't know what it'll be like through the rest of that week. But I know on Saturday I won't be doing anything.
Yeah, just gotta let him know what time so I can plan around it.
We'll probably do it in the morning, just so you have the rest of the day. Not too early, obviously, because, you
Okay.
work the day before.
Yeah.
But anywho, what's up, Joe?
Nothing much.
All right.
Nothing much at all. Just got it off of work. Fun work.
Yep, fun work. I thought there was.
So you finished Paper Girls, right?
Yes.
The show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I have 3 episodes left. They don't finish the whole. How far into the comics do they get in the first season?
They get into. I think about halfway.
About halfway?
I think so. Yeah, because
go back through.
When you texted me, I was
reread
like,
it.
"What is he? Is he fucking with me right now?" I was like, "Is he serious?" Because I was like, "What do you mean?"
I was totally serious because I could not remember a mech battle. I remember the scene where they in the comics where they end up at the dilapidated mall.
Yeah.
Then I could have swore somebody time traveled at that point. Wasn't there an evil version of one of them? Or
yes.
something? That's where it starts to get fuzzy. And I don't remember the mech battle at all. And then it skips forward. Then my memory of the story skips forward to when they're in the future.
With themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The future, the futuristic future.
Yeah. Yeah, or not even themselves. It's one of their daughters? I can't remember, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. And then, so there's that, weird gap between the mall and that I just, for some reason, am missing.
Yeah, it's actually on the, no, it's in that stack. I can't get to it. But on the cover of, actually, it might be in the other room. Because I think I was rereading them while I was watching it. Not while I was watching it, but when I was watching it originally. I want to say the cover of Collection 2 has the mech on the front of it.
Okay.
I think it's Collection 2. First one has them.
I have only the individual issues. I don't have any of the collections, so.
I have them both.
Yeah, of course you do.
Because that's what I do.
It is what you do.
Speaking of comic books,
Uh-oh.
this is an actual segue. I obviously have stopped collecting comic books for many reasons. One is just don't have the money or time. But I do still get fucking all the newsletters from different creators that I follow. One of them, as you know, I'm a big fan of, is Mark Miller. Mark Miller wrote a book called Nemesis.
Yes, he did.
I am a fairly large fan of that book.
Yes,
and they are finally releasing the second one.
Damn.
And he in his newsletter, he put in 12 pages of of just the art. So there's no words, no dialogue, or nothing in it. And it's just bonkers. I do not think it's I don't think any of the pages are like continuous, like they're not in order. They're just random pages. And there's this one, I'll see if I can pull it up. Wow. I was so fucking happy. I don't even know how to put it to you. I was just like, oh god, I want this so bad. I don't know if it's under Nemesis Reloaded.
Is he going to do like a limited edition, a special edition of it, or is it just going to be released like normal?
So I think this is gonna be issues. I didn't even read the whole thing, because he basically had a bunch of different stuff, and he says, what else? Oh, American Jesus Revelation #2 is out today, which is obviously Wednesday, when we're recording this, Wednesday, December 7th, which is New Comic Book Day. So I'm obviously behind on that too. So that's cool. But this is let's see if I can zoom in so you can see the fucking, this is just one page of it. So you can, I don't know if you can see it very well. I might just.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah. That is pretty insane. Dude getting a head chopped off.
Yeah, dude, it's so badass. And then he throws a sword. I was like, wait, what? Yeah, it just, I mean, there's it's so much just ridiculousness. Him crashing through a giant glass roof into what looks to be like a black tie party with 2 katana swords and just getting ready to fuck people over. And there's a scene where he basically looks like he's live streaming himself murdering people, like on a TikTok type site.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I was like, yes, Slay King, as they say. Same with a rocket launcher. Some crazy ass future bike. Him just splattered with blood. I mean, it's fantastic. I love it so much. I cannot wait. I don't even know how I'm gonna. Probably wait for like a collection to come out and get it somehow.
You're not gonna go through and collect all the individuals?
I mean, I could, but it's just starting back up. Just is so time consuming.
Well, you wouldn't be starting back up, really. It'd just be for the one collection.
Yeah,
there is that comic shop in Surprise.
It's true. I could go like, hey, bro, can you just give me these? Not give them to me, but like, can you get them for me?
Because I thought about doing that with Saga. Obviously, Saga's ongoing, and it's been a few months.
Yeah.
Since it started back up, and I stopped collecting it. But that would be the only one that I really care about finishing collecting.
Yeah. So pretty nifty neato. I thought it was pretty rad. I was like, oh man, I want it so bad. He's so violent. I love it. And he really is violent in this one. I don't even know, like, because obviously, like, there's no words or description other than, like, motherfucker back. Like, not really him, because, spoiler alert from the first one, he dead as fuck. But as we found out in the end of the first one, he is not only
tell people what Nemesis is about?
So Nemesis, in all like honesty, when you first start it, you think it's basically this supervillain who is literally just killing whoever he wants to. You find out basically he is doing that, but he is doing it to find his match, someone who can match him in intellect as well as violence. and things like that. So he literally is traveling around the world, targeting the best of the best and exposing them for being frauds or not as good as he is. And then he comes up to a gentleman who is he's a DC, Washington D.C. police chief captain. I think he's a captain. I can't remember. I could probably turn around and grab the book since it's behind me. And he basically goes after him. Well, not really after him. He basically tries to draw him out, and by basically kidnapping the president. And then they kind of duke it out in a sense of wits as well as just utter violence. And then, spoiler alert, the dude wins and Nemesis dies. And then, extra spoiler alert, at the end you find out that Nemesis isn't a person; it's a persons, as in it's basically a bunch of rich sociopaths who want to live their best life by killing people for sport, essentially, and they pay this dude who then sets them up with this alter ego to then go out and do whatever the fuck they want. So the ultra rich are going out and just murder, death, killing, however they want. And this guy chose to basically be the almost anti-Batman in a way. He wears an all-white outfit with a cape, which just looks ostentatious as fuck, and murders people in the most elaborate ways. If Joe remembers, the opening of issue number 1 is a dude tied up in a chair on a set of train tracks, and you're like, oh, that seems like it's gonna suck. And the dude has Nemesis has a monologue, and he's basically telling me, you're not as good as you think you are. I bested you, and all these things. And then the SWAT team shows up to basically, take him out. And you find out that the tracks he's sitting on is actually on a bullet train. And Nemesis escapes. Bullet train then just plows through this dude in the chair, and you're like, oh, that's pretty rough. Oh, what? That's not it? And all of a sudden, the train goes over a bridge that explodes right before it gets there, and then the train essentially shoots off the wreckage of the bridge into a children's hospital.
Yeah. So
that's how the book starts. That's the first, 3 pages. And then it just continues to snowball from there. It is... I believe we talked about it on here before, because I entered in the MillerWorld contest a bunch of years ago, and I chose Nemesis as my piece to write on, which obviously nothing ever happened of. I got some pretty nice words from people, but that was about it. And then so I love that book. I always point to that one. And obviously, Kick-Ass is one of Mark Miller's best properties that he's done, of the original properties. He has a ton of work done on the big two, DC and Marvel, that are fantastic and amazing. His Adventures of Superman stories are fucking phenomenal, as well as all his other just tremendously done works. But his independent stuff, when he wrote Kick-Ass, was one of his first ones. That one that was obviously turned into a movie. One of my favorite books. It's really hard to get people to read it or acknowledge it as good work because they have a movie based on it or adapted from it. And the movie is fun in its own right, but it's nothing compared to the book. And the book is called Wanted. It's just the movie pales in comparison because the book is just too wild. That's another book that if you try to explain the plot of that, starts just people will look at you dead in your face and go, "Are you drunk right now?" But it's a fantastic book. It's also extremely violent, but it's so well done. It's a great series, or yeah, I guess you could call it series. It's a shorter one. It doesn't really have much more. I would like to see him do more with that universe, but I don't know what else he would do because that story was kind of told. The story he wants to tell in that universe is told, but it definitely had him. There's a creature, a character in it who's literally made up of think of if you know comic books, think of Clayface or Sandman from from Batman. He basically so Clayface is probably the best example of him. He is a mass of living clay that can basically make himself through telekinesis, make himself look like anybody and anything he wants. So inanimate objects, human beings, he can shrink himself down and make himself bigger. All sorts. He can actually make himself multiple people, multiple things too. Anyhow, so that imagine that, but instead of just being made of living clay, sentient clay, he's made up of pieces of the 666 most evil people's shit. And he does the exact same thing. And there's a scene in the book where he drowns a guy and himself. So he literally traps a guy in a limousine and forces himself into the back and drowns this dude in his body of shit. So that's the kind of stuff we're playing with, and it's fantastic.
So speaking of Millerverse, it's been a long time since I've actually heard of any of the adaptations. What happened to all that?
So COVID hit that real fucking hard, like real hard. So for the folks who don't know, Mark Miller, the comic book writer we're talking about, he has a publishing, or has, I guess he still has technically, has a publishing line called MillerWorld. And in that is he owns the rights to Kick-Ass. We were talking about Wanted and Nemesis and Superior, and a bunch of other ones that are in there. And he, a bunch of years ago, that company was bought by Netflix. And part of that deal is they were going to publish his books still, but also they were going to adapt his stuff into IP properties. So they're going to do live action movies, television shows, even animated stuff, all based around his body of work. Because of the success of things like Kick-Ass and Kick-Ass 2, even though it's not really a great adaptation, Wanted did very well for a rated R action movie. So they bought that in the likelihood of doing things with it, and they were doing that, and then a little thing called COVID happened and basically put the fucking stop on like pretty much everything going around, because it's really hard to get productions done. They did I'm spacing on the thing, Jupiter's Legacy.
Right.
They canceled that for just stupid reasons in general. But they were also in production of American Jesus, or Chosen, depending on where you started your reading of it. And as far as I know, that's done-ish. Like, they were doing it. They were filming in Mexico. And I don't know how far it went. I don't know what else is happening with that. I do know... Kingsman was obviously one of his more popular ones too, because you have Kingsman's Golden Circle, and then you had The King's Man, which was a prequel to it. Super Crooks animated show came out last year. That was one of the ones he did. It just kind of sucked. Sorry. Hold on. That seemed super mean. The show is awesome. The problem is they didn't do an adaptation. They based it in that world. So that story that Mark wrote that I love was not translated into the actual show. They kind of basically took that world where superheroes exist, and they basically did a new story within that world. Very similar to what was happening in that, with basically crooks that have superpowers, so super crooks, and then basically spun a story around it that was different than it was, but still very entertaining and very well done. And the animation was fantastic, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. I just wish we could have seen the story that was from the book. I know that sounds very comic book fucking nerdy, but that story was so good and it was so short. You could adapt that into a movie or a mini series very easily without having to do a whole lot of stuff. With like Jupiter's Legacy, It was a very ambitious story. It faltered because there was a lot of indecision and butting of heads of creativity around it. I know that much. We talked about that before. And I think because of that, they just didn't want to deal with it, and they're like, "Well, we're done with that one. We'll do something else within that realm." So that kind of sucks because that's a really good property as well, and the show is very well done. The only critique that I think we even talked about this. The only critique I had was the fact that just the prosthetic beard and hair just looked terrible.
Yeah, the aging looked bad.
Yeah, it's just real rough. Like Josh Duhamel obviously is not a very old looking man, but if you were to get a good looking white beard and white wig for him, that would easily age him up quite a bit without having to use prosthetics to make him look young. Same with Leslie Bibb. You didn't need to do that. Just throw a gray wig on her and it should be fine. Like, it's not going to be that big of a deal. I'm trying to see if I can find any more of what they did, but I don't see it.
I looked up the American Jesus, and according to this, what's on Netflix.com, production tentatively was set to start March 1st of 2022. They did start filming eventually, looks like April of this past year.
Okay.
And then it doesn't say if they finished or not, but they said there was an accident that happened in June that caused production to temporarily stop.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah. But I couldn't find like an estimated release date either for it.
Yeah, trying to see if there's more. Animated series about Super Crooks. It will be produced by Bones. Yeah, I know that one. Jupiter's Legacy.
But apparently, in their last Tadum that they produced, they did show clips from it.
Oh, did they? That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
As a creator, owned line. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I don't see anything else on there. Licensing and adaptations. Interesting. Yeah. So, to your question, no, there's not been a lot of what's going on. COVID hit them real hard, and because Jupiter's Legacy was filmed all before COVID was a thing. It was released during COVID last year. Well, the end of COVID last year. To a very large bang and then a fizzle. It hit the top. Everyone's super excited about it. Then they watched it and they're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, that's the thing that kind of sucked about that whole entire property is because a lot of those books take place basically in the same universe or have some sort of interconnection between the two, between the different books and whatnot. So when it was announced that Netflix was picking it up, or at least buying MillerWorld to be able to translate most of, if not all of his works into some sort of anime or live action film or something like that, it almost felt like somebody was attempting to do like the Stephen King universe, like actually go through and make all of this stuff, make it all interconnected and do something awesome. And then it just kind of fizzled out, like you said. And it sucks because I totally forgot about it. Like, you had this moment to be able to do something with all these properties, it felt like. And then you dropped the ball on it. And it sucks. Because I wish they would have been able to just hit the ground running with all that shit. And just, boom, 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 boom. Create all kinds of really cool stuff.
Yeah. So this, I pulled up Wikipedia. Because it's always correct information on there. It said on December 6th of 2018, Miller provided an update to the progress of MillerWorld properties adapted for Netflix. Jupiter's Legacy is going to be the first television series released. Obviously, we know that. with Stephen DeKnight as a showrunner. Which at this point, Stephen DeKnight being a showrunner is both a boom and a hindrance, because he tends to make awesome stuff, but also butt heads a lot with studios. Just have Spartacus, Daredevil, with that whole thing. I think Punisher too. He's a creative person, but he doesn't like to be like restrained when it comes to this sort of stuff. Like, he really wants to go full force. So he had to, I know that was a big confrontation they had with that. Then it says, with American Jesus as the second television series released, couple showrunners. Then it says Empress, Sharky the Bounty Hunter, and Huck are all scheduled to be featured films in development under Netflix. Miller will exclusively adapt new MillerWorld properties to the streaming service, with select properties having comic book tie-ins, starting with Prodigy. And Prodigy was a book he started in 2018 that came out that they were eventually going to get to live action, but they never, or I don't actually know if it was live action or animated for that one, but so far nothing's come of it so far. But yeah, so that's that. I mean, he has quite a few books under the Netflix branding ever since they were that was bought by them. It started with Magic Order, and then went to Empress, Reborn, the one he did with Greg Pulo, Prodigy, Sharky the Bounty Hunter, Space Bandits, the second Chrononauts book, the second and third now American Jesus book, King of Spies, which was the last new property he had, and then Magic Order 2 and the second Prodigy series, which is, we find it on this list here, the Icarus Society. So he has a lot of comic books, but he's always been very prolific in comic books. But production of things around that has not really been great, because they've done 3 things so far, or 2 things have come out so far. One is obviously whatever's happening with American Jesus, and that whole thing. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's I was excited to see Nemesis coming back to do some more carnage.
Yeah, it's been a long time since the first series came out.
Yeah, real long time. But he has so many awesome books. Like I said, Wanted, Kick-Ass, Nemesis, Superior, Super Crooks, Kingman, Secret Service, as it's known. Hit Girl was a spinoff. MPH, which is his version of Flash. Jupiter's Legacy, Starlight was awesome. Huck was awesome. Chrononauts is one of my favorites because it's time travel.
That's a good one that really needs to be adapted.
Yeah, that'd be a fun one to see made. But whatever, you know what I mean?
Whatever he says. Anything else you got for this week?
No, not really. Go see Violent Night if you haven't already, everybody.
Yeah, how was that?
Fucking awesome, dude. Like, it is. The trailer, I mean, the trailer tells you everything you need to know. Basically, it's Santa Claus meets Die Hard meets Home Alone, is the best way to do it. And the best part is, it's one of those things where, like, you watch a movie and it knows it's doing something, so it references those things. They do it in a very cheeky way. There's a point where he's Santa Claus, played by David Harbour, is basically trying to get away from like bad guys. He's trying to go. Basically, starts going through and pulling presents out of the bag, his bag, trying to find something he uses as a weapon. And he's just going through and he's naming off video game. Then he goes Die Hard Blu-ray set and just throws it away. And like I'm like, that's fantastic. When the movie first starts and you get introduced to the family, the little girl who's kind of the antithesis of the whole story or the whole linking of Santa Claus, and her parents, you find out that her parents are kind of having a thing that's not really going so well. They're kind of separated. And the dad finds out that the mom let her stay up late and watch Home Alone.
Nice.
And so she's all giddy. So when she's hiding from the bad guys, she's like, I can set booby traps. And you're like, oh, okay, that's funny, right? And then she does it, and it's just the setup is so good, and the execution is even better. But it pays homage to Die Hard and to Home Alone, as well as many other things. But it's weird because it has some very earnest moments in it. It has hilarious moments in it. It has extreme violence, like wow, extreme violence. Like the trailer has a little bit of it, but holy shit, it did go down. I mean, it's just, it's so good. The story is fantastic. Once you think you kind of know where it's going, and like what's going to go on with it, it just takes this left turn, but then is right back on track. And it's like you kind of, in a way, you can't really believe what you're watching because it's like it's fantastical, and it's so much fun, but also just like so violent. And like they give a story, like they give the backstory of Santa Claus, and like it's just this. They it's very tongue in cheek. You think at first, and then it really dives deep into things. You're like, whoa, this is getting real heavy in certain points. But there's Beverly D'Angelo, who, if you don't know who that is the mother from the National Lampoon Vacation movies, including Christmas Vacation. She is the matriarch of the family in this movie, so she's in it and she's foul mouthed, which is fantastic. I mean, it's just all around just a good fucking time, and John Leguizamo is just fucking amazing in it. It's so well done, and they have these little call outs to like their like the things that came before, like Die Hard and stuff. They know that they're treading on that very heavily, but then they play up to it, like the security guard of the housing, the complex, it's literally a compound that the house is in, the family owns, and his name is Al, and he's black.
Nice.
And I'm like, this is fantastic.
Right.
So little things like that, and like the jabs, like, or not jabs, but like him finding a Blu-ray set of Die Hard, just fucking hilarious.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah, it's basically the whole premise is he is an uninvited guest in this that wasn't accounted for when the whole thing was happening, and one of my favorite parts about it, honestly, is how much they rely on people who not rely on, say, if you know the Die Hard properties, especially 1 and 2, there's things you'll see that you like, it's happening, and if you're paying attention, you know it's going to happen. And I don't want to say more than that, than what if you get a chance to watch it, Joe. Eventually, when it comes out, probably, obviously, just because there's,
when it comes out on streaming, I'll watch it.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's one of those things where like this is going to be one of my staple Christmas movies every year, because it's like it's
Die Hard and this.
Yeah, it literally, because like again, like this movie, other than the fact that he's Santa Claus, like he's not like a Santa Claus, he is Santa Claus, right? There's no, I'm not gonna fucking gaslight or whatever. He is Santa Claus, and he has Christmas magic. Like it's fucking the legit thing. He has reindeers in a sleigh and all this fun stuff. that aside, if you were to take that away, just like if you were to take the Christmas element away of Die Hard, Die Hard could still be a Die Hard movie, right? But what makes Die Hard a Christmas movie to me, and again, I'm not going to argue with anybody about it, but what makes Die Hard a Christmas movie, especially the first one, is the fact that he's there because of Christmas, right? Like the whole
Christmas party.
Yep, the whole premise of the movie is based around, like, the plot of it is everyone's gathering at the Nakatomi Tower for a Christmas party. If you take Christmas out, you just have to make it a party, and it's just obviously it's not. But the whole premise of the movie is a Christmas party, so it's Christmas centric. That's what makes it a Christmas movie, right? If Home Alone was him in the middle of the summertime and the burglars broke in because they were on summer vacation, not a Christmas movie, right?
No.
That's what makes it a Christmas movie, because it not because it takes place on Christmas. One of the main plot points is the fact that it is Christmas time. Mm-hmm. This is the same idea. You could strip him being Santa Claus away, which would obviously change this movie because he's Santa Claus and he has Santa Claus stuff in it. But you could make this movie, and it would just be Die Hard. That's all it is. It's literally just that he's an unknown, unwanted guest. There's only one person, and literally this is like, I'm not even joking you. There's only one person that knows he's there. The people who run the party don't know he's there. The people who are invading the party don't know he's there. None of it. It's the same exact everything. The only thing missing though would be a dead body going down an elevator. If that were somehow in this, it would be very similar. Even down to the point where there's someone trying to use a computer to hack into the vault where the money's at.
Nice.
Like, it's so good, dude. It's so funny. It's, like I said, it is R-rated beyond just the language, because there's a lot of F-bombs and shit. The violence in this movie, Joe, like, it's the reason it's called Violent Night. Holy fuck, dude. Just the amount of blood and just, the killing is so good in it, man. It's so fantastic. Anyhow,
well, cool.
Highly recommend it if you haven't seen it already.
I really wanted to see it. We ended up I was supposed to go hiking that day, but we ended up getting rained out anyway.
Yeah,
because it rained pretty hard that day.
Yeah, it did. It actually ended up being in Cine One too, so we had to see it in Cine One.
Oh, had to see it in Cine One?
Well, I might it was available, so mine might as well had to see it. You know,
it's a really weird thing to be available in Cine One.
So crazy, dude. I was like,
there must have been nothing out. There must have been nothing out that week.
Not really,
this
dude.
Week?
Like it was like they were still. I think because Avatar's this Friday, the day this comes out, was Avatar 2. I'm trying to think what they had in that theater.
Because we were there not too long ago. What was it? What did we go see?
Joe, why are you asking these questions, dude?
I don't know.
Why ask questions you know I don't have fucking answers to, Joseph?
We went and saw... God, what was it?
What did we see there, Joe?
We went to Rudy's beforehand.
Black Panther.
Black Panther. I was gonna say I think it was a Marvel movie.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, Black Panther.
Yeah. So
extended that for another week.
Yeah, it was weird because obviously we had asked you if you wanted to go, and you said you were hiking, so whatever. So I waited till Friday to buy the tickets. And then it turned out that they were putting it in Cine One, and I was like, first off, I don't know why, because that's fucking nuts. But I'm down. Like, especially, like, I could see them slipping in, like, during the week, whatever, right? It's not as busy. But, like, this was a Saturday, and they had it, like, and it was, like, starting at, like, the earliest time was, like, 3:40. And I was like, let's fucking go. I don't care.
Right.
Yeah. So, just so good. I mean, it's just big screen, super loud, just violent as fuck. I was in heaven. It was so good. And it wasn't, I mean, it was actually pretty busy, too. I was kind of shocked at first, because when I bought the tickets, there was only like 4 other little sections of people, and it was not. And then when we got there, not filled up, but quite a bit of people. So I was like, oh, shit, that's good.
Right.
So I can't wait for Violent Night 2, Violent Harder, to come out. I'm not too sure. I was gonna say Night Harder, but that seems weird. So it had to be Violent Harder.
Yeah, Violent Harder would make more sense, especially it's violent, and now it's more hard violent.
Yeah. Which, if they do that, that shit's gonna be NC-17.
Really?
Bro, I'm telling you, dude. Like, I just can't stress how fucking violent this movie is, Joe. Like, you see in the trailer, he does the whole he sharpens a candy cane and stabs somebody.
Yeah.
Bro, that's part of that scene.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much more he does with that candy cane that's unsettling.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it is just fuck, dude. And then the Home Alone stuff, dude, Jesus Christ. Dude, Joe Pesci and fucking Daniel Stern got off light. Light compared to what these motherfuckers went through.
It was the early 90s. Kids these days are desensitized to violence.
Yeah,
so,
this little girl was. Holy
they
shit.
play Call of Duty for fun.
Yep, for relaxing.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I have, Joe, unless you have anything else.
There was a couple of things that I'd run across that I thought would be interesting just to mention.
Yeah.
One is that obviously we know that we've talked about James Gunn taking over the DCEU. This dude has been like apparently tweeting random shit. I say random shit. But one of the last things that he tweeted was a picture of the cover art for Kingdom Come.
Yep, the table.
Yep, the table saying making plans, and so now everybody is thinking that he is going to steer that into that direction of doing an actual live action Kingdom Come.
Ballsy move.
What was that?
Ballsy move.
It is a ballsy move because it's a lot of it's been a while since I've read Kingdom Come, but it's just looking at this picture. There's a lot of characters here that a lot of people wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And it's a story about what we know as the superheroes are older. You have a newer generations that's a bit more violent than the older generation. It's the older generation coming back to try and basically stop them from being so violent, if I recall right.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the very cliff notes.
Yeah.
Of that. So it'd be really weird, especially to jump from what we have now all the way into the future.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting if he sets some more stuff up, or if he's even actually doing anything with it at all. This literally could just be him, just like, yes, I am planning things. Not this, but planning other things. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see the tweet he did about he would post his Spotify year-end or wrap-up, but it has one of his top songs is for a secret DC project?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Because everyone was posting their wrap-ups, like we did it, obviously. We were talking about ours.
We did. Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I would post mine, but it has a song that's for a secret DC project. And I was like, this motherfucker, dude, he's just
right
having the time of his fucking life.
Just sit there, tease.
Just
teasing everything.
Fucking flick the sack, dude. Just
flicking. Nope, not going to do that segue. Anyway, the next thing that I was going to mention is that apparently Ghostbusters Afterlife 2 is quote unquote in the works. Like, they haven't really started working on it, but at least Jason Reitman is actually stepping down as the director of the next movie, with Gil Kenan, who was originally a co-writer of the original movie, is stepping in his place. There's really not much else, anything about it. There's no talk of there was a little bit of talk about what it could be about, and they hint at a return to the firehouse,
which makes sense because at the end of the movie.
Yeah. But that was pretty much it. No other talk that I remember reading through this article on Gizmodo about what else it would be about, or when it's going to start filming, or anything like that. Just that Jason Reitman is stepping down as the director, and his co-writer is stepping in.
That makes sense. I mean, after him and his father worked so closely on that movie, and then after that movie came out, his father passed away. So I could see working on the next one would probably be pretty rough.
Yeah. The only final thing that I saw today that I still don't know much more about. Apparently today, Apple announced Apple Music Sing. So if you've ever been like on your iPhone or Apple TV or even iPad, whatever, and you have the ability for pretty much every song that I've ever seen to see the lyrics for that song play.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it happens. Yeah.
Apparently, you can turn it into like a karaoke type thing. There are, what I think they said there was 4 different modes that you can do. Adjustable vocals, which users now have control over the song's vocal levels. They can sing with the original artist vocals, take the lead, or mix it up on millions of songs in the Apple Music catalog. Real-time lyrics. Users can sing along to their favorite songs with animated lyrics that dance to the rhythm of the vocals. Background vocals. Vocal lines sung simultaneously can animate independently from the main vocals to make it easier for users to follow. And duet view. Multiple vocalists show on opposite sides of the screen to make duets or multi-singer tracks easy to sing along to. So it sounds like this will only be coming to like at least newer Apple TVs, possibly newer iPads and iPhones. It's supposed to be launching later this month. It just came out of nowhere to me to hear about this. The only other thing that I don't know yet is how you sing along with it. I can imagine if you have your iPhone or iPad, it would use the microphone, but how are you doing it on the Apple TV? Are you using the remote?
Maybe. Or maybe it's just literally just for you to sing to it, right? Like it's not recording anything. It's not amplifying your voice. You just get a chance to sing along with the song or whatever. So it gives you like the karaoke prompt on there and you just sing like you normally would.
And maybe that's how it is. Like that's the one thing that this article from 9 to 5 Mac was very light on. Like it obviously describes what it is and what devices can do it and how it kind of works, but it does not describe what the input level is. Am I singing into a microphone? Am I singing into my phone? Like, what does that look like?
I don't know, but it's going to be real popular on TikTok. I know that much.
Yeah. And it's just kind of weird that, like, Apple didn't mention anything about this on any of their keynotes or anything like that. It just was like, boom, here's this thing that we're going to do. Oh, by the way, it comes out in, like, a month. Or this month.
Weird. Yeah, that's strange.
Super weird, right? Like, it's just something that Apple usually doesn't do. They usually don't really release features like this.
Yeah. Well, that is strange.
Not that we're going to use it. I just thought it was weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is everything that I have. I really haven't been watching any interesting TV shows besides Paper Girls. I need to catch up on so much other shit.
Yeah. Yeah, same.
Yeah. Anyway. That's it for me.
All right, cool. Producer's giving us the wrap-up signal. Got you over there, bud. Yeah, that's it for this week's episode of Comes Naturally. We have been
Joe.
I have been Cody. And as usual, you fuckers just came naturally.
Bye.
Bye.